Cardiac arrest can happen to almost anyone and at any age, especially those who play sports. This is why having the proper equipment is essential in cases of emergencies. Now, the federal government has voiced support for having defibrillators in hockey arenas across Canada. In this week's Healthy Living, Anna Stanislaw takes a look at defibrillators and how these machines can help save lives.
Prime Minister Stephen Harper recently announced its $10 million initiative to provide automated external defibrillators across community hockey arenas by 2016.
Let me be clear, that means a defibrillator in every recreational hockey rink from coast to coast to coast.
It's great for smaller communities that can't initially function with that $1,500 capital purchase. It's going to save some lives at some point, so it's obviously a great initiative.
These are just one of the many AEDs in place at hockey arenas in the city. They were installed back in 2008.
Tear open package and remove pads.
Every facility has an AED or a defibrillator in the lobby. Every year we go over it with our arena user groups at our pre-season meeting and go over the location of them and the training required to act on it. The defibrillator is recommended to use on those who suffer from cardiac arrests and not heart attacks, where the heart muscle is blocked.
The actual heart or cardiac arrest, the heart stops or goes into a arrhythmia that does not allow it to perfuse blood throughout the body. Once that happens, that's when you want to be using the defibrillator to shock through the heart, try and get the electrical impulses in the heart going back in the proper order and start the heart beating again.
There are many factors as to how a person goes through cardiac arrest, such as age and trauma. The defibrillators are meant to give an electric shock to the heart to stop an irregular heartbeat and restore it to its normal rhythm.
Once we've determined that it is indeed a cardiac arrest, we're going to hook it up, and it's going to go one there and one about here. Okay. So your heart runs here, so we're going to want to run the electricity through the kind of directly through the heart.
They're a great thing to have out there. The more we can get out into the community, the better it is. The more training the people have in the community, the better chances are somebody goes down and somebody's going to be there to be trained to work on them right away and give us a much better opportunity to help that person once we get there.
Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.
Learning about friction, gravity, and mechanics in the classroom can be a bit of a drag for some, but for hundreds of students, they got a more hands-on approach in Cold Lake. As Clayton Brown reports, the Northern Lights School Division held its second annual Science Olympics, and it's a big hit with the students.
Grade 6 to 9 students from schools across the Lakeland all gathered at the Energy Center. Working in teams, the young scientists had certain tasks to complete with limited supplies.
So the kids come here not knowing what's going to be expected of them. They're given some instructions and some tools, and they come together and they put together a project, and then they're tested and judged on those.
Two of the challenges were an egg drop and creating a moving car. It's a fun opportunity to take the knowledge learned in the classroom and apply it in a hands-on environment.
Since the CDs were thin, it made it harder for it to roll. The elastics didn't always work, so that was a little bit of a challenge.
We have to learn about friction to make sure the car will actually move forward, and how force is spread apart on a larger area to make sure that the egg will stay intact.
Well, it's more hands-on, and it's basically getting us to learn it by ourselves, and it's pretty cool.
The competition is about creativity and innovation, but equally important is learning to work with others.
The kids are really given an opportunity to work together and come to consensus together on ideas and shoot out a project, and it really speaks to good, strong teamwork. 350
students in all took part. In Cold Lake, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
The latest E. coli victim in Canada is a resident of Saskatchewan. That makes 8 confirmed cases across the country. 7 other people in Alberta, Ontario, and Manitoba have become ill after eating frozen burgers that have recently been recalled. The burgers are from the gourmet meat shop Big and Juicy brand.
I'm here in the Around the Region editing suite. I'm putting the finishing touches on tonight's show, and it's going to be a really good one. Here's a look at what you can expect coming up tonight at 7:30. I head to Vermilion for a couple of big stories coming out of there. Of course, this week, Pink Shirt Day. We take a look at how Vermilion students and the whole town actually stood up against bullying. As well, their VIBE funding. This is the third and final year, so we're going to take a look at the impact it's had on local schools and kind of what's being done about the renewal of that program. And we finish off with Freedom to Read Week happening this week. I got to join Kitscoty Elementary students and share a classic Robert Munch book with them. That's all coming up tonight on Around the Region at 7:30. I will see you then.
Well, the world is always changing and the agriculture industry is no different. Farmers are always trying to get their hands on the newest technologies to help them out in the field. Kyle Gallagher takes a look at some of that new farming equipment.
As the need for more crop production grows, so does the workload each farmer needs to do in order to meet that need. A few recent advancements in equipment could help reduce the load.
Precision land management, I guess, is the big thing that everyone's kind of going towards for 2013.
Precision land management uses geographical information systems and GPS to help farmers keep track of how their land is being used down to the inch.
And you're not overlapping into the other parts we've already done. That's a big thing for guys. The costs are getting huge on fertilizer and chemicals, so it's a big part of it that way.
There's even been some changes to the traditional tractor. Some new models have replaced tires with a track system, similar to a tank.
One big one obviously is the traction, actually in flotation, not as much compaction with it. There's more rubber on the ground versus tires, so that guys like that definitely.
There have also been changes to the way farmers deal with livestock. Jack Nestor's company produces a cattle squeeze that uses hydraulics and blinders to reduce the stress on the animals, as well as the people handling them.
It's unique in the fact that it was built and designed to be the quietest, most stress-free cattle squeeze on the market.
A lot of these devices can even be run by remote control.
So I can actually move cattle through a system from 100 feet away and nowhere near the cattle. Again, reducing stress on the cattle and hopefully producing better profits.
Kyle Gallagher, Newcap News.